Hello everyone, Jesse's back. We're going to talk about Path of Exile 1. I know in the last video I was a little dramatic, being maybe a little morbid, a little depressed and sad about the last Path of Exile 1 announcement. But obviously it's a new day, it's a new dawn. Happy Thursday, bless up. It is Path of Exile 1 season. They're making a temporary league called the Legacy of Phrecia, which is what we're looking at. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes on these ascendancy classes. Basically, the event is going to revamp all the ascendancy classes temporarily, just for fun, because we love the game, and why not? So I'm going to go through these because I freaking love this game, and the more that I'm apart from it, the more I miss it. Daughter of Ashabi, first up. Nothing here jumps out at me. I'm not really a huge Ranger fan. Let's pull up Path of Building just so we have our reference point. Ranger starting tree location is right here, this circle. And as a result, this is one of the three ascendancies that we're looking at here. So these three are going to be replaced. And yeah, I just don't love Rangers. I don't make a lot of them. More of a slams guy. Doesn't mean that it's out of the question. Like this node in particular, all damage inflicts poison against enemies affected by 5 grasping vines. Inflict 1 grasping vine on hit. I love this node. I really, really wish it was not on Ranger. I wish it was on Duelist or something, because I would probably make a build out of that. Because I think it's a great node. Spellslinger. I've tried it before. Spellslinger. It's interesting, but ultimately just not very good. Then the Sacred Wisp thing. This is something that was introduced recently. Nothing jumps out at me. This is the whole no socketed gems thing that they had from the league a few leagues ago. Attack damage per evasion, not bad. Honestly, kind of interesting. We'll see how that one turns out if somebody makes something broken for that. All right, next up. This is all Ranger. I'm going to go through these a little bit faster because I just don't care about Ranger as much. This is the Whisperer. This one has a lot of people really spicing it up because it's a return of the mana for attack thing that they kind of got rid of. Same with this node right here. Increases and reductions to spell damage apply to attacks. If you're getting a lot of mana, chances are you're in a part of the tree where all the mana is. If I type in mana here, you're in a part of the tree probably, yeah, where a lot of spell nodes are, spell damage. So like flat mana. So if I do increase mana, no, that's not right. Maximum. So type in maximum. Yeah, so these nodes are going to be really juicy for this kind of build. These nodes are really, really nice. These ones, you know, this is like the witch part of the tree, right? So if you're picking this, maybe you're going up here and getting some percentage mana. I don't know a lot about mana builds anymore. The last time I really played one, like really, really played one was, I mean, years ago. Years. And back then, the mana builds and the way Archmage, the way the whole thing worked was just different. It was just different back then. And so mana forged arrows and stuff. There's nothing that jumps out of me. 10 Rage. I love Rage. I love Rage Vortex. I'm probably going to keep playing Rage Vortex for the rest of my life. I absolutely love that spell, that attack skill, excuse me. But I don't, this is more of a, this is a different kind of node I'm not that interested in. This node, 100% Fizz taken for Mana Before Life, I think is interesting, but again, it's on a ranger, so I can't be motivated by it. Wild Speaker. This is one that is using beast aspect of the avian, aspect of the cat. These are not bad. I think aspect of the avian, I think it gives you like percentage dodge or something, and it gives move speed, of course, and yeah, this one's not super compelling to me. +1 max frenzy and power is kind of neat. It gives you, this is kind of the flicker strike thing, so maybe people will play flicker strike with this because of the max frenzy and so on. And then it has this really random node, increased damage, minion damage also affects you. There's some interesting little ways you can utilize that, but a build maker who cares about ranger is going to have to deal with that. Marauder, Antiquarian. This is the only Marauder one that has been released. There are 2 more Marauder ones coming. So I am optimistic that one of the ones that will be coming will be more compelling, because this one is not crazy compelling to me. The most compelling nodes are these 2 down here. No intelligence, 150 to strength with duration per strength. I think you can make some pretty interesting builds with these 2. The builds that I were thinking of, I mean, obviously I want to use War Cries and like Rage of Vortex and stuff, and these have the duration tag. Theoretically, you're like, oh, you could probably make this work, right? But the main issue is there's just no, that's it. These are the only 2 nodes. You don't really, I don't know what you are using Turtle Shell for. Your hits can't be evaded is very, very good on its own. So maybe you end up picking this. But if you pick this, 1, 2, 3, you have 1 more. What do you pick after that? The only one here is either this Turtle Shell thing, which I guess you go with, or gain ward instead of 50% of armor and evasion rating from equipped body armor, which is great if you're doing a ward build. And if we're doing a Warcry build, I'm not sure where ward comes into the equation on a Warcry build. I just don't know. Maybe there's a legitimate argument to be made for a ward-based Rage Vortex something shenanigans, but I don't know. I don't know. And if I do the ward, I'm taking all 3 of these nodes. So if I'm guaranteed like leaning into the ward mechanic, I'm going to take all 3 of these, find a way to break it enough to gain adrenaline. And I don't know how I want to do that. There's no other source of damage besides the 1 ward. Because it's a Marauder Ascendancy, we're going to spend more time on it. But there's that 1 ward unique. Boop, 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 boop. Gain added chaos damage equal to 10% of ward. 78%, 5% of damage taken bypasses ward, which kind of sucks. I mean, what are you doing here? And then also you have to just, I mean, heavily lean into ward in order to make this worth it. 10% of ward. So what, you're able to get, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flat added chaos damage, which is good. Don't get me wrong. This can be great, I'm sure. Ninja. I mean, let's just. I mean, why not? Night. What is it called? Night grip. Boop. So it looks like we have some Cobra Lash enjoyers, and look, every single one of them, almost every single one of them, is a trickster. So if we go to maybe passive heat map, oh look what side of the tree that they're allocating points on. The opposite of where we are. So just so we're clear, we are on the Antiquarian, who is a Marauder, which is one of these 3. Which means we're starting right here. Yikes. So how are we going to scale ward if the majority of the ward scaling apparently is coming from around here? But this is all just percentage increased defense nodes. The only reason I think people are doing this is because the Trickster ascendancy is so good. Oops, didn't mean to do that. What did I just do? Oops. Trickster is just really, really good for this. Let's look at let's get rid of the Tricksters and the Ascendants and the Pathfinders. Let's see what else we got in here. There's a Deadeye in there. Don't want the Deadeye, don't want the Occultist. Boop, 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 beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 clicking, clicking, clicking. All right. So there are some enjoyers here, as you can see. There's even a Rage Vortex. Oh my gosh, is the dream real? Let's take a look at this guy. Okay, what do we got? 39% increased ward with Despair Curse. Hits can't be evaded on the weapon. Svalin, which is just the most broken shield in the game. And then we have some of this. Oh, he's got Vengeful Cry. Love to see that. Gain ward instead of 60% of armor and evasion rating. So this is basically what we would be replacing with a more useful belt. And I'm trying to figure out here. Yes, and ignore gain no inherent bonuses from. I think, yeah, the Battle Mage Cry trigger, but I'm interested in particular with the Vengeful Cry to see if he has a way to trigger it, because I mean, but he's not able to take self damage unless I'm missing something here. Well, it doesn't matter. The point is, we already kind of have a build in mind, and we cannot make ward work. So we just have to call it on this. I'm sorry. This is the only Marauder one that's out. This is it. And then we have to say no. We have to pass. Sucks for us. It's not to say we won't play it maybe as something else. Maybe, I don't know. Surfcaster, we're on to the Tricksters. So we are now on this side of the tree. Very exciting. This is the one that, based on some feedback that I've read on Reddit and on other places, as well as looking into a couple people's streams, this is by far the most insanely broken. So this node alone, the effective chill on you is reversed, having that not be bound to a pretty shitty unique item. Specifically a ring where you can get a lot of power. This is staggering. This is insane. Just this node alone. You can put this node on almost any other ascendancy and it would make that ascendancy good. I just think people forget how broken reverse chill is. It's action speed, which is just freaking broken. Like, you can do this and make a Warcry build. You can make a Rage Vortex build with this. The reason is because of this. Action speed increases your Warcry cast speed. Which it doesn't, I mean, you know, it's just the action speed thing is so fucking broken. So yeah, this node is broken. It's fine. It is what it is. You need to find a way to deal damage to yourself, cold damage, and chill yourself. There are ways to do that in the game. Let's see. Oh, you have to take this one. So you have to take cold damage can shock, which is pretty dope. Enemies chilled by your hits, blah, blah, blah. This is, I mean, I would imagine a lot of people are going to take these three nodes. And then this Ghost of the Deep is just generically really good. 30% increased move speed. Like, it's so funny that this is a node, because of course every single person in the game is going to end up taking this node because speed is king in this game. Everybody loves speed. Fishing rod stuff, I've done a little bit of research into this. It's just hilarious. This is why it's a temporary league, is for fun stuff like this. I don't think the freeze one is going to get taken by anyone. The other nodes are just too compelling, but maybe. Sea legs, yeah. Evasion increased by overcapped cold and crit overcapped lightning. All these nodes. There's basically every single node on here is good, but some in particular are absolutely busted. So I suspect that this one's going to be crazy. Also, I just realized that my camera is blocking. Well, whatever. If you've come this far, you probably are already like on the forums looking at this stuff, and so. Oh, this is the spiders aspect of the spider, Arcali, whatever, trickster. So this is all of like poison minions, chaos damage minions. I don't need to see. I don't need to read this one. I'm out on this one. I don't know how strong it really is because I don't know all that much about the Arcali builds. But I mean, they're very. There's occultists on PoE Ninja that they can clearly do all content in the game. So it's not. It probably is pretty good actually. I don't know. This is the Blind Prophet. This is another one that's kind of compelling from my perspective for a melee build just because of the base crit. Base crit is really cool. I just love it. And yeah, I mean, it means that you can actually use a two-handed weapon with bad base crit, like a mace, for example. And trying to do a mace build is hilarious in this game because they're just so much worse than other weapons. So yeah, and then obviously return proj and extra proj. I mean, this by default, these two nodes are going to make a build that does, you know, billions and billions of damage. So it's like, okay, balanced, very balanced. Return projectile is always balanced. Elusive is cool. I love elusive. Yeah, the whole corpse explode thing. Don't really know how that works. Some shade form, abyssal nonsense. Yeah, pretty good one. Harbinger. Oh, this is the cooldown recovery. 40% increased CDR is a lot. That's a lot of CDR. I think it's more than any. So someone can make something really memey and broken with the CDR probably. But everything else. I mean, I think one of these, Harbinger of Time, maybe increases action speed, which, you know, you can do something with maybe, but there's a while channeling thing, which, like, this should honestly just be immune to ailments while channeling. Like, I mean, I don't, it's fine. It's fine. Or maybe unaffected is meant to be, you know, it's meant to help you. It's meant to say, oh, you can self-shock. Oh, self-shock. But I strongly doubt someone's going to do that. And, yep. Don't really expect to play that one, candidly. Heralds. This one, I saw some other streamers going through this. Apparently, it is very strong for a pure Herald build. You have to take this node. You have to. Which is Coming Calamity. Aura skills are disabled. The only way to play this is by disabling all auras. I don't think that's really, I think that's kind of a non-starter for my Rage Vortex enjoyment and my Slam build enjoyment. But, I mean, I don't hate witches, so it's probably pretty good. Whatever. On to the next. Duelist. So finally, we just did Trickster and Witch way on the opposite side of the tree that I enjoy. And I am a bottom left tree enjoyer, so now that we're on Duelist, hopefully these will have some compatibility with a Rage Vortex Slammer something. I've already been through these, and they don't really have synergy. This is the Gambler. This one probably has some of the best synergy because of a couple good nodes. If I were to do my Rage Vortex nonsense on this guy, I would probably pick these two, Risky Exploit and Reversed Odds, because Reversed Odds, you know, if we're doing elemental resistance, you know, elemental damage, this is a very compelling node. Very good, actually. And then we probably would end up taking Overconfident, because we're going to probably do our Petrified Blood shenanigans like we did last league. And I guess we would take this one, or maybe we would take Risk Aversion. I'm not sure. I don't know where. I do know that we probably would take these two, then probably Risk Aversion and find a way to get the rest of the stun avoidance from like a from an abyss jewel. I mean, I think that this is very good. This is very good. It's very strong. Growing whatever this is, I know that if you do the math, it's good. But I don't know. I don't love stuff like this. So like just give me something that's a little more like I know what I'm getting into. And risky exploit. Most of the reason I'm picking this is because I have to get reversed odds. But yeah, this is an interesting defensive mechanic here, defensive tool. I still feel like you need to have like really strong sources of mitigation in this game, and like I just don't know if that's actually like it feels like it's like kind of a bad node. Like 25 all is kind of shitty, and 50% chance to basically die if you have like if there's some big one shot that would do a lot of cold damage, and you only have 75, you're banking on I don't know, not amazing. So yeah, that's what the dual. So they're all the duelist ones are released. The paladin one, this is the only one that has anything with war cries, like a slam build. Is bring the battle. War cries have infinite power. You would think that if it has a node with war cries, that it would have anything else with anything else, and it doesn't. It doesn't. It just randomly has a war cries have infinite power node. But then you realize when you read the rest of this, link skills, linked targets, aura skills. You are nearby ally, nearby enemies take. This is a support class. This is a class that you're supposed to be taking if you're like playing an aura bot, I guess. So yeah, I mean I play softcore trade, but I'm not playing in a party. So sorry, Paladin. I just don't think I can do it. This node, Light of Divinity, is actually very strong numerically. Nearby enemies take. That can be useful for our build, but no. Aristocrat, this is the one that they just put out last night. This is like skill gem with quality of skill gem plus this stat stacker shenanigans. I just don't see anything here that I'm interested in. Like more passive points is really cool. Gym levels and quality. This is all cool, but like I'm looking for something more of like a traditional slam character would play, and this just ain't it. So we're kind of waiting for the next few to be released. But anyways, we're almost done. The Templar is left here. Templar, honestly, from a tree location, starting right here, you can get to some of the Warcry stuff pretty easily, right? So, like right out of the gate, you can navigate to the bottom Marauder side of the tree and grab the useful Warcry nodes that we're going to end up taking for our build. Oops. So yeah, this is a good starting location. So you can say like, all right, maybe there'll be some melee stuff, but there's nothing that really compels me thus far. This is Veil Skill Gem based. This doesn't look like a bad ascendancy. It looks pretty interesting. Yeah, life reservation of skills. That is actually useful for us. If we're all assuming here, I'm assuming we're gonna do our Rage Vortex, Life Stack, Void Forge, Bloodthirst thing. So if we do that, maybe we do take these two, which is fine. We Rage Vortex already cost life, so it's kind of like, is this really that good? And then we probably, I guess, end up taking this, which doesn't make a lot of sense for our build because we're trying to do self-damage. So maybe we end up taking... See, yeah, there's no Veil skill we can use. We just can't... It's just a non-starter. Sucks. Polytheist, this one is more compelling for a couple reasons. I was looking at this one the other night. So if we're going to do Void Forge, Rage Vortex, 30% more max attack is very good. So we would take this. Then I guess we would end up taking Cannot Be Frozen because I don't know what else we would take. We would probably end up with some evasion rate or hex reflection or min charges. But this node alone, it's crazy that I said this, but out of all the nodes we've seen, this one is kind of the only one that's like, oh, well, that makes sense for a slam build. 30% more max attack. That's it has the attack tag. Like, fuck. So this is a real contender, though. This is a real contender. I don't know if we would take this first in the campaign and like have this 30% more at level, 30 whatever. Maybe we would. Maybe that would be useful. Then I guess we take the min charges because like there's nothing else to take. I don't know. But this is a contender. All right, I will at least say that. Puppeteer, this is the zombie one. Kind of a pass on this one as well. It's like they introduced a really interesting skill. It's like the falling zombie or like zombie slam, like alt gem zombie stuff. And I only have so much brain power. People have already posted some interesting takes on this, and maybe it can be good, but it's not for me. And then this is like the idols thing that they teased. There's a new Atlas tree situation. I'm not gonna think too hard about this. A lot of people have had these really hot takes. This is a temp league, and they're definitely spicing stuff up. And so I'm kind of like, okay, is this a temp league or are we play testing something or what? So, all right, a juicy 25-minute plus video. This is what the people really wanted to hear me talk. I freaking love Path of Exile. I just miss it. I just miss this game. It's just Torchlight Infinite's been fun, but I just miss this game. So, gosh, all right, I got to get back to stuff that I was doing. Goodbye.